All right, guys, so this is the WTF story of the day, right? I always got one, okay? One WTF story. As this story, right, only happens in a post-George Floyd / Derek Chauvin world, a world in which the woke revolutionaries have successfully undermined the criminal justice system, okay? They've made it so a lot of these prosecutors are scared to do the right thing. And this story right here is about the prosecutor out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, that has decided to charge the officer who shot and killed Patrick Lyola maybe a couple months ago. They decided to charge this officer with second-degree murder, the same charge that Derek Chauvin was found guilty of after the George Floyd incident. Okay, so if you guys don't remember the Patrick Lyoya situation, that was a situation that was supposed to be the next George Floyd. However, it never got to that point, as the officer, right, if you look at the body cam footage, he stopped Patrick Lyoya for having an expired plate. Okay, now Patrick Lyoya also had an outstanding warrant for his arrest, and his driver's license was revoked. Now, the police officer asked the guy for his driver's license. The guy was basically being all sketchy about it. He tried to get it out of his car or whatever. He just never got it, and then he started resisting arrest, and then he ran away from the police officer. The police officer caught him from behind because the guy's pants were sagging. Right, dude, sagging. He can't even run away from the police officers. Okay, but anyways, he gets caught, and that's when a tussle ensues. The officer tells him, stop resisting, stop resisting, stop resisting. He won't stop resisting. He grabs the officer taser, and at that point, the officer basically shoots the guy in the back of the head. Okay, it is very clear what happened on the body cam footage. However, this prosecutor decided to charge the police officer involved in this situation anyways. So I want to talk about that. But before we get in that, let's go ahead and roll the news clip of this incident so that you guys can get a better understanding of what's going on here. Take a look.
But let's begin with Grand Rapids police officer Christopher Schur, charged with second-degree murder in the death of Patrick Lyoya. The Kent County prosecutor announced that decision at a news conference late this afternoon.
Schur faces a single count of second-degree murder. If convicted, he faces the possibility of life in prison with the possibility of parole.
Mara McDonald getting reaction from Patrick Lyoya's father on the charging decision. We'll get to her in just a minute.
But we're going to start things off here with Victor Williams. He's live in Grand Rapids tonight. Victor.
Yes, Kimberly and Jason, even though the announcement of those charges were made not that long ago, we still have protesters that are right here in front of the Grand Rapids Police Department. Even though it took months for us to get to this point, the Kent County prosecutor has finally made his decision.
Based on his investigation, based on everything he has provided to me, I've made the decision to charge Christopher Schur with one count of second-degree murder.
Kent County prosecutor Chris Becker with the announcement the nation has patiently been waiting for.
A second-degree murder is a felony offense. It is punishable by up to life in prison with the possibility of parole.
After many months of tension and civil unrest, the charge is coming 66 days after Officer Schur was seen on camera shooting 26-year-old Patrick Lyoya in the back of the head. Prosecutor Becker believes that there will be two different sides reacting.
I think it's split, to be honest with you. I mean, I think there's been this, I think the general consensus is I think there's a huge amount of community pressure that thinks I should charge, and if I don't charge, something's going to happen. But I mean, literally, just before I came over here, I got an email from somebody saying, I don't think you should charge.
While it's believed that Lyoya maybe tried going for Officer Schur's taser, many are saying that action doesn't warrant being shot in the back of the head.
I hope it sends that we take these cases seriously.
Charges coming down for GRPD officer Christopher Schur for shooting and killing 26-year-old Patrick Lyoya. A welcome surprise for activists who have been calling for accountability since April 4th.
I was not expecting this. I'm sure a lot of y'all was not expecting this either.
A few dozen people stood in front of GRPD headquarters chanting this evening and paying tribute to a life lost. A moment of silence bringing up raw emotion for some. Their focus now, a conviction.
Just because he was charged with second-degree murder, that doesn't mean that that's going to be upheld in court. It still has to go through a whole due process, and he's still innocent until proven guilty. And so we need to make sure that we're pressing hard on the judges and making sure that we show up in those courtrooms.
The police have got to go.
The police has got to go. activists also calling for an overhaul of the policing system, saying this could happen again.
So why it took us 65 days? Do you know how many days all these people been standing out here? It's been protesters that have been arrested for something they never did.
Jimmy Barwan, who says Lyoya was like a brother to him, happy to see charges, but he believes Officer Schur should spend the rest of his life in jail.
We lost a father. I lost a role model. That's somebody I looked up to.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! Something he and other activists plan to fight for until the end.
We're not gonna stop. We're still gonna be out here until we get justice by any means, I repeat. By any means, so this is just a start.
Wow, incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. Okay, so guys, we live in a country where you can be stopped by the police. You can resist arrest, okay, after refusing to comply with orders. You can run away from the police and get in a fight with police, not obey orders, continue to refuse to obey orders, grab an officer's taser, okay, try to take it away from him, and get shot in the head, and the police officer gets charged with second-degree murder, right? That is the country that we live in, because we have woke activists that are pressuring the criminal justice system, right? Pressuring prosecutors to take actions that simply are not right, okay? And it's not like this guy is some woke prosecutor. He's not. This guy, Chris Becker, or at the very least during 2016, he ran as a Republican, okay? He actually took money, like a $1,000 donation from the Grand Rapids Police Officers Association, which again, that doesn't, that shouldn't influence his decisions. But I'm just saying, it's not like this guy is a woke prosecutor that, would do something like this. It seems to me that this guy is scared. He's scared of the woke social justice warriors. He's scared of the activists. Okay, because you guys listened to him when he was talking about it. He was giving his reasoning. He cited the pressure from outside. He said, well, that's pressure on both sides. That's pressure from the woke activists, that are protesting about this. But, somebody also sent me an email that said, don't charge the guy, right? Obviously, there's way more pressure from the woke activists because they're the loudest than they are from people who are reasonable saying, I don't think this is right, right? You should charge the police officer for having to use deadly force in a situation like that where a criminal is resisting arrest. And again, I've been hard on police lately, okay, because of what happened in Uvalde, okay, but I made it very, very, very clear. When it comes to protecting children, yes, police officers deserve all the criticism they can get if they fail to do their jobs in protecting the lives of kids. But when it comes to dealing with these criminals on the street, I am back to blue, right? I will back the blue unless they do something extremely egregious, right? Then at that point, I'm not back to blue, okay? But this is not one of those things. This is one of those things where it's just like, this guy is obviously in the right, okay? The guy was resisting arrest. He had multiple chances to stop resisting arrest and to save his own life, okay? But the guy had warrants for his arrest. He was driving with a revoked license, okay? Maybe the vehicle was stolen, who knows, because the officer stopped him in the first place because the license plate didn't match the vehicle. This guy obviously didn't want to go to jail. He knew exactly what was going on. He just did not want to go to jail. So he decided to run away. That's what happened. And when he decided to run away, he decided at that point that he was going to put his own life in danger, that he was going to take the risk of being shot and killed by a police officer. Again, the guy grabbed the officer's taser. In that situation, that could be a life or death moment for that police officer. Obviously, that guy had no issues using potential lethal weaponry on police officers. Like, and tasers are potentially lethal, okay? Despite popular belief, yes, people can die from being tased. Small chance, but it can happen. That police officer shouldn't have to put up with that. At the end of the day, he did what he had to do to stop the threat and to save his own life, okay? Again, I've been critical of police officers. I'm not trying to, be on the side of police all the time, no matter what, right? I'm not one of those type of guys. I just call it like I see it. This right here is justified. This guy should not be charged. However, what is happening here, again, is this prosecutor, I think, is being influenced by the protesters. He's afraid of what they might do. Again, because of what we saw with George Floyd, okay, the Derek Chauvin situation. We had our country tore up for 6-7 months straight because of this. And that has led a lot of these people to now be afraid of these people, okay? Now, again, I think they're overcharging him with the intent of knowing that, well, there's no way these charges are going to stick in court, in the sense that without a reasonable doubt, this guy committed second-degree murder. I think that's probably what the ultimate intent is, to be like, okay, well, you're going to get charged, but we know that, this is not really going to stick. So it is what it is. I kind of get that, but at the same time, he shouldn't even have to go through that, right? He shouldn't even have to go through that. Because now you're damaging this guy's career. This guy may not ever be able to find work again because of this, right? You're ruining somebody's life because a criminal decided to run away and resist arrest and to grab an officer's taser. And these clowns on the street are out here protesting over this. You got the ambulance chasers like Al Sharpton and Ben Crump. They out in full force over this case, right? So there's no doubt in my mind they've influenced this because they're desperate to find another George Floyd. They're desperate. And they're upset that this situation did not get as big as that. But this prosecutor, he folded to, again, the mob. That's what happened. And it's really unfortunate. I don't know why in the world you would want to be a police officer in 2022. Okay? I don't know why you would want to be a police officer when, it seems like the Derek Chauvin effect is definitely influencing these prosecutors across the country when it comes to police being involved in these type of incidents. So, hey, I don't think the guy will be found guilty ultimately. I think he'll get off, but it's just unfortunate he has to go through this in the first place. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.